Aha! But have you heard the story of the seeds? When I was a lad, I used to ask my brother, "So how was school today?" I was working at the time, and he would respond with the usual grunt that told me it was the same educational system that I previously had ran on. Incidentally, have you learnt much since leaving school yourself? Or was that your main education? Because if so, your mind was young and primed to be founded on that system. The system that you were schooled by. These are some of the foundations for your rational thought, and these are the ties that bind you to the system. Indeed, these scenes alone will be familiar to some, as us pointlessly floating around the Goldilocks zone. Now, what are the chances of that? Scientists referring to a children's book. So where is the rocket on that one? And your brain will assume that its indoctrination of its own youth is justified by what it is seeing. Your senses will disregard the fact that you feel no motion whatsoever. And to digest the possibility that you may be living on a fixed plane is as easy for you to do as trying to chew food with a loose tooth. My simple point being that in fact you are the seed, and in this case you are a grass seed, and of course you will grow, and in time you'll get weaker and weaker, and eventually you will pass on. Now, wouldn't it be nice to know the truth before you did so? Anyway, the sun neither rises or sets, but travels a clockwise circuit east to west, and only appears to rise and set due to perspective, like looking down a long corridor and such. The sun disappears on the human perspective, on the horizon, where the ground meets the sky, and because the sun is not 92 million miles away, indeed much, much less, the light emanating from the sun only illuminates about half of the flat earth at once as it travels on its daily adventure. Well, look at this wonderful video by a chap called P-Brain, I think. Although he seems like he's much more intelligent, and it's a great video on perspective. And if you observe the video and enjoy the drum and bass, you might see what I mean. Now it does look like the sun is going down, or setting. However, it's moving away. I'm sorry, my voice has gone a bit croaky there, I don't know why. But I do wonder if it's maybe something to do with those chemtrails and such, you know. I don't think they're very good at all for us. But of course I don't want to witter on too much about them, maybe some other time. So thank you very much there, P-Brain. That's extremely kind of you to do that experiment and save me having to do it myself. And I hope you don't mind me using your video. I think it's fabulous, and I'm sure you wouldn't really mind because it's for the better cause and all that. So, is there such a thing as out of space? Well, yes and no. What you see in the sky, as far as stars and wandering stars, also known as planets, are there. I mean, how could we really deny them? We don't know what they actually are, but they are there. Now, what we are told about outer space and what it is not true at all. It's a total crock-a-doodle-doo. Everything that we believe we are told about so-called outer space is mostly Hollywood movies and other media cartoons, like Disney and you know, shat like that. Of course, NASA are the biggest turds on the block. As I've already said in previous videos, NASA has only one image of Earth from space, and that's from 1972, so that's like, you know, that's a long time ago, I wasn't born. And even images of the other so-called planets are computer generated. I mean, NASA has gone on record numerous times stating that humans cannot get past low orbit. Even this fine device that you're watching this video on is many times more sophisticated than their so-called sack of shat that landed on the moon. Indeed, I spent several moments looking into what it took to be an astronaut and studying their techniques, and it seemed quite straightforward.
NASA's next spacecraft, already being built and tested across America, will do those things and more.
This is the spacecraft that's going to take humans to explore the solar system. It's the next big step for NASA in exploration.
Called the Orion Multipurpose Crew Vehicle, or MPCV, this next-generation spacecraft will enable America to explore beyond low Earth orbit.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go, and this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually.
And unlike the previous program, we are setting a course with specific and achievable milestones. Early in the next decade, a set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit is supposedly between 99 and 1,200 miles away. The funny thing is, they say the moon is over 200,000 miles away. So how did we make it so far in the 1960s and 70s if we can't do it today? Because even a total thicko could surely question that one. Also, the International Space Station, just like all the other visual and verbal turd brought to us from NASA, is a fake Freemasonic hoax, completely fabricated and done with special effects, models, pools, zero-G planes, green screens, and various other camera trickery. Smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast.
Swimming against the current, you go one way, and you're going a certain speed, but if you go along the current or the other way, you're going way faster. It's like that, but they couldn't measure when you look into Michelson-Morley experiment, the results were we couldn't measure that we're moving at all. So it's always been a debate. Are we moving? Aren't we moving? Even with Einstein, it was a debate. Did like in the 20s and 30s, they still didn't know. You assume, yeah, it's moving. It says right here, 1,000 miles an hour, it's rotating. But the people at the top don't even know. They don't even know, but we assume, because we read it somewhere, that they know, but it's all guesswork. When you watch this documentary, I'm just repeating shit. dude. When you watch this, they're all saying we're studying. This is when they found what they found in the cosmic background. They took one reading in 2006 and one in 2013, and the one in 2006. This is what the documentary is about. All these science are talking about it. Is they took a picture. It's called a cosmic microwave background. It's a picture of all the galaxies all the way around you. And they took a picture. They did it in 2006. It's not a conspiracy theory. This is a science documentary that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a conspiracy theory documentary. It's a science documentary. Michio Kaku was talking
what's
about
it called
this.
Again?
The Principle.
Okay.
The
I'll
Principle.
check it
It's
out.
called the Copernicus Principle. The Principle.
Okay.
The
I'll
Principle.
check it
It's
out.
called the Copernicus Principle. What they found. This is what they found in the first reading, and they thought there must be a mistake. There must be a mistake until 2013, the European Space Agency, they found the same thing. And this is what right now cosmology. They don't know what the to do. You know what they found out? The cosmic microwave background shows that all the galaxies are on shelves lined up to us. That we're at the center. They don't know what to think about.
This is in this documentary?
That's what the documentary's about.